Pregnant teens are more likely to give birth to children with gastriosis, a birth defect where the intestines are on the outside of the body. One of our GJ students here has a sister who has suffered through this disease and more.
Hello, my name is James Thompson, the father of Zoey Thompson. She was born back March 24th of '05. She was born with an omphalocele, which is all her insides on the outside of the sac. Then she was also born with the esophagus attached to her left lung and not to her stomach. So she was born not breathing. She was born had to be put on life support for the first few months. But the second after she was born, they did the omphalocele repair and also the esophagus. So it was like, I believe it was a 16-hour surgery. They repaired all of it. As time went, there's a few other surgeries they had to do in between, and seemed to be getting better. And then they inserted a second feeding tube, and then she was living on 2 feeding tubes. So because they're weaning her off the one onto the other. She's up to age 2. She had a total of 7 surgeries. Right now she's maintained where she has a fear of food situation, where she doesn't like to eat food much, but what little bit she does eat, she feels she's full. We don't know if it's because her stomach might be too small, or it's just that she just don't feel she needs to eat because she hasn't had any food in her mouth for the first 2 years of her life. So they're working on that. She's on a feeding tube still at this moment, and they're working, trying to gain her some weight. For a long while, her left lung had collapsed for a little over a year. It kept filling with fluids and bacteria, causing her constantly. 2 years ago, she had about 10 to 11 trips to the emergency room at the hospital due to pneumonia, brought on the fact that the left lung was not working and it was just maintaining bacteria and fluids. So that became a big issue, became a big concern, because then the bacteria would eventually grow over and get onto her good lung. They tried many things on her, and they've been giving her antibiotics, but eventually antibiotics will give out because she'll become immune to it, and then bacteria will just take over her whole body. So what they have done 2 weeks ago is went ahead at all children's. They went and removed her left lung because that was the only alternative to prevent the good lung from being attacked. And as today, she recovered very well. And what really surprised the doctors and nurses is the fact that she didn't need a chest tube for drainage, and she didn't need any oxygen, and was on very little pain medicine. She spent 6 days in the hospital. She came home, and that following Monday, she returned back to school. Before she had surgery, she could run a few feet, and she'd be out of breath and have an asthma attack. Now that they removed the left lung, she could run a lot more, and she's not having any issues breathing, and she's doing a lot better, and she's a super girl. What do you want to be when you grow up?
And doctor. I'm more normally into stuff like colorful things and stuff. I like normally everything. Sometimes I go to school and I learn about problem and solving and acts and distractions and stuff. Play, sing, color, and normally play with my little brother Peter.
Though she's only one example of the many children that have had similar stories, Zoey's is still pretty sad. We're going to keep our hopes up for her. This is Dakota Andrews signing off.